Welcome to Mandemic Mondays, the only podcast hosted by best friends who have nothing in common except their name. I'm Mandy Kaplan.
And I'm Mandy Fabian, and we are the Mandys. And every week we've been reviewing and debating the latest Netflix release and whatever else we're all doing to try to stay sane during this crazy time we love to call the Mandemic.
I've been informed that because it's Mandemic-y, we should say it separately. Like we can't get our act together to say it together. But we're so talented and professional.
It's just, I know that's a good tip. Did they have any other tips like, makeup, health tips?
Mostly about replacing you with Mandy Moore.
I think it's a great call.
Thank you.
She's very talented.
Lovely.
But in the meantime.
Yeah. I'm stuck with you.
Yes, you are. Good week, right?
Oh, Fabian.
You have to say yes.
I do have to say yes.
So this week, we checked out Yes Day on Netflix, starring Jennifer Garner and Edgar Ramirez and directed by Miguel Arteta.
Oof.
Yeah. Well,
Très caliente when you say it that way. Muy caliente. I combine French and Spanish.
Yes. I forgot how to say you're welcome. Bienvenidos? I don't know. De nada. That's what it is.
De nada.
There you go. Yeah.
So Yes Day, the basic premise is that parents who find themselves, as we all do, saying no all the time, or particularly a mom who feels like she's the one who has to say no all the time.
Yep.
Agree to one day with their kids where they have to say yes to anything the kids want, and mayhem ensues.
Yes. The whole movie gave me an ulcer. Like the premise of it gave me an ulcer. I didn't know though it was based on a children's book. Like in my head, I was like, I feel like this was a book, but I thought it was like a parenting book, like one of those books that's like, you know what? You need to learn to give your kids a good time sometimes. But it wasn't. It was actually a children's book where a little kid like got to have pizza for breakfast and overall it was pretty harmless.
Oh. I just realized we should be playing a drinking game where we take a shot every time we say yes.
Oh my God.
How did we miss the boat on that?
Stupid. Oh, God, we don't deserve this.
Well, I, from the get-go, related entirely to this movie. And it opens with a montage of Jennifer Garner saying no to her children in about 100 different ways that I have said it myself. And I was smitten from the first frame of this movie.
Oh, that's great. I love hearing that.
So you hated it?
I didn't hate it. It made me anxious.
Okay.
I liked, my kids liked it. It was good. It left me a little flat. I didn't like the idea that I didn't even like the whole premise of like, oh, moms are supposed to be fun. Like moms. No, I didn't. I'm like, well, of course we're supposed to be fun, but like we are fun sometimes, but like you got to do the other stuff. You have to do it. Otherwise you're raising savages.
I hate to interrupt. Your kids are texting me the safe word right now. So I got to come get them. You hate the premise that moms should be fun.
Because I'm sorry, that little 14-year-old girl talked to her mom in a really crappy way. I did not like how she was speaking to her mother. Great actress, though. Jenna Ortega is her name. She is really talented and I would love to cast her in my next film. So Jenna, this is not on you. This is on the premise of the movie that like she talked to her mom like she was so crappy to her mom. And I get that you get to be a teenager.
Were you not a teenager?
I was terrified of my mom. I would never, ever have spoken to my mother in such a way. I would never, ever have expressed anything but like respect and you are the master of the kingdom to my mother, at least in front of her, to her face.
I am still apologizing to my mom. Like when I see something in a movie or in a book and a teenager's awful to their parents, I still call my mom and say, I know I did that to you and I'm so sorry. And my mom's perspective was brilliant. She was like, that was your job as a teenager. And it was my job not to take it personally.
Oh.
And she didn't. somehow. But
God,
I was
that's
like,
amazing.
ugh, I hate you, shut up, slamming the door in her face, and then coming out crying, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it, and then doing it all again the next day.
Wow. No. Yeah. If I had done that with my mom, I would have been like homeless. Like I couldn't live in her house and be that way. There's no way.
God.
You had to do everything behind her back. If you were going to do anything awful, it better not be to her face.
This is turning into a therapy session, a much needed, lovely therapy session.
I can't believe after all this time, there's things you don't know about me. But you knew that about me, didn't you? A little bit?
No, I didn't know you didn't mouth off to your mom. I knew that you were an obedient child. And
yes. And I can never say when I disagree with someone. Right? Like I can't.
Except me all the time.
All the time with you, but I feel it's just my safe space.
You're wrong, asshole.
Yes.
But did you relate? I mean, as a parent, you're watching her say,
oh, yeah.
No, absolutely not. Hard. No, don't do that. Don't do that. And I was like, I feel like, yeah, especially with younger kids, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally related to that. But I was also like, yeah, she's supposed to make her kids do their homework. And I guess because my kids sometimes like they're still not sometimes doing their homework. And I feel like they should be taking responsibility for that. And I like it made me go like, she's right. I don't like the premise that she's somehow wrong and we have to have a yes day to make her right. Like she's right already. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing.
I agree with you, but I don't think she had to have a yes day to right her wrongs. She desperately needed to do it for herself. It was her journey.
Yeah.
And we see in the absolute opening credits that she used to be a daredevil and live life and travel and jump out of airplanes. And now she's just a very uptight, negative mom.
Yeah.
So she needed it. And I was in love with her from the first frame. Jennifer Garner was so charming in this movie.
I 100% agree. And actually by the end, like I was so weepy at the last
by
scene.
The end.
Well, no, I thought she was very, very charming all the way through. Like I did love the conceit of it, of them like eating the ice cream. And I love the big water balloon fight. And even though it was very big and very unrealistic and, you know, it was giant movie thing, but I liked it. Yeah. I liked what they were doing a lot. And I thought she was so charming. I totally agree.
So you got weepy at the end. I wrote down 12 minutes and 2 seconds is the exact moment I started crying when they showed the son's movie that he turned in for class, comparing his mom to dictators. And she's watching it crestfallen, and I started to cry, and I don't think I stopped through the whole movie because I was so like my heart was warmed because I was charmed and then sad and then happy. And
isn't that funny? Like my reaction was like, those kids don't deserve a yes day. You would make a movie like that about your mother? Like oh my God. Seriously, I will haunt your dreams if you ever talk about me like that to your teacher. I mean, I know it was for the movie.
Right.
I know that.
Right.
But it was very extreme. I mean, they were so horrible to her that I was, you know, but that's okay. It just gave me, but a lot of things gave me stomach aches, like watching all that ice cream get eaten. Oh my God.
Oh, it just needed bacon and I would have been all over it.
Like the foam in the house, I was like, oh God, who's going to clean up that mess? It was really stressful, which is funny.
So funny. Yeah.
No, not in a negative, don't watch the movie way.
Right.
In a, oh my God, what are they going to do about the interior of her car?
I was completely swept away. I thought the music was fantastic.
Yep.
Their choices of music, you know, the music supervisor who chose the music, but also like the score was perfect. The acting was phenomenal. My issue where it cut me to the quick was like the idea that mom is the bad guy and dad's the fun one. And I'm sitting there watching it and thinking, yeah, I've wanted to murder my husband for that. Have you ever felt that way?
Are you joking? Yes. Yeah, 100%. I think I'm the only one who really cares whether they do their homework sometimes.
It's a good thing your husband doesn't listen to this.
No, Daddy's got a bag of lollipops in his car. Do I need to say anything more?
Oh,
and I'm
man.
constantly monitoring like sugar and, healthy foods and eat your salad. And
Right.
yeah, no, I 100% I relate to that. Yes. I think it's funny though, because I think of both of our personalities and parenting styles. You would think that I'd be the one who's like, yes, day.
Yes.
And it would be your worst nightmare because you're a planner.
Yeah.
And it's funny that we had different responses to the movie.
Yeah. I don't think I'm as rigid. I'm scheduled. Don't get me wrong. We're never late.
In a beautiful Virgo way.
Oh, bless your heart. But with Casey, I think I am more the fun mom. And I have to take a breath sometimes and go, if he wants to have a pillow fight right now, instead of brushing his teeth, we're going to have a pillow fight. I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm Mother of the Year.
Yeah.
Quarter inch.
Yeah. Did you get your plaque, by the way?
They're building a life-size statue of me in the town square.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. Out of ice cream and bacon.
It was a Britney Spears statue, right? But then they just had to make a couple changes.
No, they really didn't have to change anything except the nameplate.
True. I think you resemble her.
2 weeks ago, I resembled the beautiful actress from Girl on the Train. How high are you as we're doing this?
So high.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to blow your mind right now. You ready?
Always.
Speaking of Girl on the Train, bum, bum, bum. The 2016 version that I saw?
I'm familiar.
And did you see it? I don't remember if you saw it. Well, interestingly enough, the actor who played the dad in Yes Day, I was like, where have I seen him? He was in Girl on the Train 2016.
Right?
Yeah. Did you know that?
Now that you say it, it's familiar.
Oh, you're good. Boy, you're good. I can't even remember actual psychiatrists that I've had therapy with. And you remember a guy who played a psychiatrist one time. That's amazing.
Well, I'm writing Edgar Ramirez's biography. So.
Oh, good choice, Edgar.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm only at 2015, but I knew he played the psychiatrist in that film.
Yeah. It's unauthorized, right?
Of course. Everything I do is unauthorized.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. I forgot to ask the kids what they would do with their yes day.
Oh.
Now I'm mad at myself.
Mm-hmm. Right. My kids, to be honest, I think because I think their lives are a little bit like a whole yes day.
I know. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, we have so much fun and do so much stuff. So Abby said she would go to Harry Potter World,
Mm-hmm.
And I think Delilah said she wanted to go to the gift shop. I don't know what gift shop she's talking about, but she just wants to go buy gifts.
Okay.
And then Magic Mountain, which we've never been.
Oh, we're going as soon as this fakakta pandemic is over. Casey said he just wanted to cure homelessness and cancer.
Is that right?
That's what he wanted to do with his yes day.
What a kid. That's amazing.
He's just so precious.
Feels like you had said that you didn't ask him and you're just making that up to look good. I don't know.
What now?
Nothing. You're staticky. I can't hear you. So we do have some special guests in the studio. We have Casey Clavens and Abby Fabian. Guys, tell us what you thought of Yes Day.
Well, I thought it was a very good movie. A lot of the jokes were very funny and I liked it. But I thought some of the events were a little bit too far-fetched and unrealistic, like the big water balloon fight and the nerd party. Yeah, that's my take on it. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So.
Oh, okay.
How about you, Abby?
How about you?
I really liked Yes Day. I liked the imaginary water balloon capture the flag fight. And also I thought it was a really good movie for kids and people of all ages. Okay, yeah, that's my report. Oh, and also out of 5 stars, I would give it 4.5.
All right.
Nice. Okay.
Great.
Healthy reviews.
Yes.
I had a moment when I was ready to murder him in the movie. It is something that Jer and I have agreed we would never do, and he did it. So it's like he broke the cardinal rule. And then I had a hard time getting back on board with the character. It happened very early on. The daughter wants to go to the concert, which is a big part of this movie. She wants to go to a concert by herself. And the dad basically says to her, I think it's okay, but if your mother says no, then you can't go.
Oh,
right?
God damn it. Yes. That's a classic move, isn't it?
the judge would let us off if we murdered our husbands for something like that.
100%. Yeah.
How many times have I said murder my husband in this one podcast?
Does he listen? Oh God, Jeremy's texting me his safe word. This is so, we have got to stop sharing our phone numbers with our family.
Well played, Fabian.
Thank you. Call back.
In terms of a kids movie, this possessed some of the qualities that I love in good kids programming, like Sesame Street, where some of the jokes are really all about the kids and some of them are just for the grown-ups. And I found a really nice balance. I thought the writer, Justin Malin, did an amazing job. I laughed out loud many, many times. And
You did? Well, which parts did you? Yeah, we laughed. I'm trying to remember what we laughed at. Well, I loved her kicking her ass over the pink gorilla, the fight when they go to jail. And I actually thought that police officer was very funny.
Yes. I wish I knew his name. He had a show on Comedy Central, I think, for a while.
Oh, he did?
I think so. Yeah, the supporting cast was funny.
Yep.
Oh, Nat Faxon as the lunch guy, hot tots, lukewarm tots. He was hilarious.
Patrick did watch this with me because it was a family movie.
Oh.
We all watched it together. And although I had to, oh my God. We had that moment. We had that moment where I had said from the very beginning, okay, we're going to watch this movie Saturday night. We're going to watch this movie. And we went to the beach on Saturday and Delilah really wanted to watch Raya and the Last Dragon again. And Patrick, classic, did the maybe she could go, maybe they could go watch Raya and the Last Dragon and we could watch it was something horribly depressing because all the movies are so depressing right now. And I think it was The Father, the Anthony Hopkins movie. Sure. He's like, we could watch that and the kids can go watch. And I was pulled into it. I was like, yeah, I guess I don't want to force any, but, and then I was like, wait a minute. So I had to totally be a horrible bad guy and step in and say, no, we are watching this movie. We said we're watching this movie. Sit down and shut up and watch it. So I think they were a little lukewarm on it anyway, because they were like, well, it's no Raya and the Last Dragon. But that's because I had to force them to watch it with me.
Right.
Yay, me. But no, I think they ended up liking it.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Patrick too?
Yeah, we found ourselves laughing. We were and you're right, Jennifer Garner, especially when she's, throwing those water balloons at her kids and just taking no prisoners. And when she got sassy, I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. She exudes that lovely energy that you just want to hang with her. That she could get down and dirty, that she could be, elegant. I just adore her.
Love her. I do too. And did you know that she actually did a Yes Day with her children?
I did not. You really have tapped into the research department here. So
I don't know. It's just something I do 10 minutes before we meet.
What did they do on their Yes Day? Do you have any details?
I don't think I have the details of what they did, but she did say at the end that she was exhausted. That's all. Yeah.
Good fun fact from
funny.
Fabian.
Yeah, my kids really couldn't, the most they could come up with was let's go to an amusement park or they didn't have anything that was first thing I would do is I would go, to a restaurant in my pajamas, or I would the kids made up her hair and put on her makeup and all that stuff. I don't know that my kids would make me wear a leotard and, flippers.
Right.
I don't know that they would think of that. Maybe.
Hold on. You are describing my deepest, darkest sexual fantasy. Give me a minute with that.
No problem.
It was funny. I was watching it with Casey and he's like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm taking notes because there's little things I want to remember to talk about with Mandy. And he said, oh, can you write down? I like the concept. The actors fit the roles they have. It's really good casting. And I'm like, I can write that down, sweetie. And then he's so my kid. He's like a little Tracy Flick Jr. And he was like, I feel like the mom switched personalities too suddenly. She needed more of a journey. These are his words. I'm reading his notes. Yeah, it was just interesting. He wanted to watch it with a critical eye more so than he normally would.
Yeah.
Normally he would just enjoy it, but he saw me making notes. So yeah.
That's so funny because when I asked Abby to review the movie like earlier, I was like, she's like, what do you mean review it? And I said, well, just like what you thought of it. And she was like, well, I can't remember. I should have written it down. But I know she mentioned that there were good characters and there was a rising point, a rising action. She said it had good rising action and a heartfelt moment. And those were things. And I'm such a jerk. I was like, what heartfelt moment? And she goes, that's the concert at the end.
And that person, her, is real.
Yeah,
that
I know.
artist. Have you heard of her? I was like, I had to look her up and I felt so old and out of sorts.
Well, I had heard of her, but my fingers vary on the pulse. Multiple pulses. So.
Ooh, that gives me rising action.
Yeah.
So are we ready to give it a manned job rating?
Yeah. I'm going to say 4.5 manned jobs. I would, because I like family movies, and the Nat Faxon really puts it over the edge for me.
Oh, he's so funny.
I love that a guy can come in and have a nothing role and make it so funny. We actually thought that maybe he wrote it because we were like, how did they get Nat Faxon for this movie?
Right.
And why was that role even in there? It felt like somebody was like, isn't there a way we could use Nat in the movie?
Yep.
And they just wrote the part for him,
Yep.
He was funny. Love him.
This is unprecedented. I'm giving it 4.5 manned jobs as well.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I loved this movie. Like, I want to watch it again.
You do?
Absolutely. Because in our house, we like to watch family movies, not like tomorrow, but in a few months, I'm going to go, you know what? We haven't watched in a while. And this is in the rotation for sure.
You're a double dipper? You
Triple
repeat,
dips.
You repeat watch movies? Oh my God, no.
Oh God, yes.
No. You've already watched it.
Yeah. And if I enjoy them, I mean, there has been some real garbage over the years that I've had to watch many times with my kid. So when there's a good one, yes, please.
I get it with a holiday movie or like a When Harry Met Sally, but I'm surprised that you repeat watch movies. Good for you. I mean, except for like 9 to 5 and Tootsie, obviously you watch those movies every year, but
I do love those movies.
Yeah. But yeah, we're in agreement. It was great. Yes Day is a yes. Go watch it.
The Mandys say yes to Yes Day.
Yep. Very goofy. Good fun. Really good fun. Really good casting. The movie was directed by Miguel Arteta, right? Mm-hmm. I just wanted, because I thought this was really interesting. I went and looked him up to be like, wow, what other family movies and stuff has he done? A lot. He's done a lot of great stuff. He's an amazing director. But what I love about him is a mystery that I would like anyone who's listening, if they know how to solve this mystery for me, I would like to hear why this is. Miguel Arteta has 53 credits on IMDb, and 32 of them are special thanks. The producers would like to thank, and thanks for your support, and thank you.
Right.
And I'm like, what does Miguel Arteta do that he is? The producers would like to thank and thank you. Like, what is he doing for all of these other movies? 32. That's over half of his credits are just thank you. So I'd like to know, is there a Miguel Arteta Foundation? Do I need Miguel Arteta's email? Like, if I just need tips and tricks for when I'm directing my feature, you know what I mean? Like, what's Miguel's deal? Is he like Warren Buffett's adopted son? Like, what's going on with him that he is, why is he so generous, or how is he so generous?
I'll get to the bottom of it working on Edgar Ramirez's biography, and I will let you know. You're welcome.
Hey, Mand, you know what I've been up to?
Mandscaping?
That's funny that you would say that. I actually did buy something to clean the earwax out of my ear because I couldn't hear in my right ear, and it worked. Didn't think it would, but it did. But no, I actually have been listening to Audible and falling
with both ears now.
With both ears. Now I can actually hear the audiobooks that I've been getting, and I am loving it. I'm listening to The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. Ooh. Have you listened to that one?
It sounds like a sequel to 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Why don't you just give it a listen and then it'll straighten you out.
Way to yes and that.
Yeah,
Way
yeah.
to yes day that. Thank you.
Yeah, but they are amazing. They have everything. They have all these guided wellness programs, and they have other podcasts, and they have comedy, and Audible's great.
They have everything. I love it.
Yeah, you download all these titles. You can listen offline, on an airplane, in the bathtub. It's totally free. You just download the app on your smartphone or your tablet, and then you can just listen anytime you want. And it keeps your place in line, which is like, you don't have to dog ear anything. It's amazing.
It's thoughtful as well as practical.
I love that.
I do.
Yeah. And actually, if people, speaking of being thoughtful, we would like to offer you a free trial on Audible. You can go to www.audibletrial.com/mandemic. You get a free trial. And with that free trial, you get a free book, which you get to keep for the length of the time you have Audible. How about that?
It's like Christmas for your ears.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Happy New Year.
So to balance out the family friendliness of the week, because we watched this movie with our kids, and it was a bit much. So I went the other way, and I have been enjoying an old chestnut called Hollywood Wives by Jackie Collins. The trashiest trash heap of a novel, and I am loving it so much. I went from Yes Day to like blowjobs and triple homicide on every page.
Really?
It is incredible.
Is it fiction?
Yes. God, I hope so. Yes.
I don't know. It could be her real life. I don't know.
So when I was in my 20s and I was going through a terrible breakup and I couldn't leave my apartment and I couldn't stop crying, my mom sent me Valley of the Dolls and said, trust me, read this book. It will get you out of your funk. And I was like, okay. And it became a new thing in my life since my 20s that when I'm going through a hard time or a friend is going through a hard time, I read something trashy and it just gets you out of your head. It gets you into a better headspace.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard, there's this thing called COVID, and sometimes I get a little blue because of, people dying. So, and not being able to leave my house. So I decided to read Hollywood Wives. Somehow I had never read it in all of my trashy reading over the years.
Wow. That seems impossible.
It's like the early 1980s. And it's all
such a good time.
Oh my God. It's all
hair,
boobs and
shoulder pads.
Yes. Cars and bleach blondes, and everybody sleeping with everybody in this book. Every page, somebody is like cheating on their wife with her best friend and then going back to her wife and then dying with his penis stuck in his girlfriend. I mean, literally, actually dying with it was for
what a
anybody,
way to go, though.
For anybody who is feeling blue or down or like, I'm so sick of the news. I'm sick of negativity. I highly, highly recommend Hollywood Wives.
Wait, if you're sick of negativity, read the book about the guy having sex with his wife's best friend.
Yeah. And lots of homicides. There's like a serial killer sprinkled throughout. So it combines all my favorite things.
Wow. And do they
killers and blowjobs and
yes, that would be a good one. That sounds really trashy and fun. I like that.
It's so much fun.
You know what I've been into? That you're going to die when you hear this.
I can't wait.
And I don't even think I really knew it was this thing, because I would never, if you said, it's a true crime podcast, I would say, no, thank you.
No, thank you. Right. I would never recommend one to you. Yeah.
Right. Because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear blood and guts, and I don't, but this, The Shrink Next Door, have you?
Of course.
Okay. Well, see, I know, but I didn't know about it until just recently. And I'm totally fascinated. I'm not finished with it, but I'm very excited because I looked into it, and you already know that it was a New York Times reporter, Joe Nocera, and there's a guy who's a therapist. I feel embarrassed now. I feel like everybody in the world knows about this except me. But there's a therapist who takes horrible advantage of a new patient and like takes over his life and destroys all of his relationships. Now, there may be a twist at the end that I don't know about, so I'll let you know. But it's being made into a movie.
Do we have it? Wait, first, might I say, the whole thing has a fantastic start where a guy moves to the Hamptons, right? Yeah. And he meets his neighbor, and the neighbor's like, "Oh, this is my house next door, and I throw parties. I'll invite you to my next party, and nice to meet you, neighbor." And then we find out that's the shrink. It's not. He's taken over the life and home of this very vulnerable patient.
Yeah, but he doesn't
so
know his
had
name.
Gripped from the beginning.
Yeah. And the patient who actually owns the house is like the groundskeeper. Everybody thinks he works there. Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So
he comes over to invite. He's like, the owner of the house, or I can't remember anybody's name, but would like to invite you to a party next weekend. And the writer is like, "Oh, the groundskeeper came over with an invite. That's nice." Mm-hmm. Oh my God. It's twisted.
Yeah. It's really, and I was wrong. I'm sorry. We were actually wrong about a couple things. Moxie, this is corrections, because I want people to be able to believe everything that comes out of our mouth, everything, because what we speak is 100% true. You love blowjobs and murders, so that was not a fake news. The Amy Poehler's directorial debut was Wine Country. It wasn't Moxie.
Oh, I apologize.
No, you have to. I'm the one who said it was her directorial debut. But it was Wine Country. That was the first movie. Okay. And then it was not a movie. It's going to be made into a TV show.
The Shrink Next Door.
Yeah. With Will Ferrell playing the guy.
Playing the victim or the shrink? Not the shrink. The shrink is very like Jewish Long Island-y.
He's playing Martin Markowitz. He's playing the patient. Mm-hmm. And do you know who's playing Isaac Hirschkopf, the shrink?
Can I start guessing?
Yeah.
Niecy Nash. No.
Good guess.
I want to say Chris Messina or someone very charming and like.
Yes, he's very charming. Yes. And Chris Messina would have been great casting.
This guy's very charming?
Very charming. One of my faves.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to be like 30s New
40s.
York.
40s.
Mm-hmm. I'm never going to.
Gotta match up with Will Ferrell. But see, this is the thing.
Steve Carell.
No, not quite that 40s.
Oh, but he would have been great. Can we make a change? Can we call someone?
He's too Oscar material for this. This is going to be a good, fun romp. And Steve Carell is like, doing serious work now.
Right.
But Steve Carell and Will Ferrell and this guy were all in a movie together.
Paul Rudd.
Yep. I know, right? Yeah. I want to watch it right now.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Oh, it's very good casting.
Yeah.
That's
right?
dream casting right there.
I know. Maybe you could get an audition to play the sister.
Does the sister get to make out with Paul Rudd?
I don't think so. I think that Paul Rudd's character really screws her over and separates her from her brother.
Maybe I could get work as a fluffer on set.
There's my girl. There she is. You bet. Even during COVID, you would be a fluffer during COVID. I feel like that would take all the magic out of it. You know what I mean? Having to wear a mask and gloves. This fluffer sponsored
by Pfizer. As soon as I'm fully vaccinated, sure. All right, Mand. What movie are we watching compliments of Netflix next week?
Oh no.
Do you forget?
Oh.
Why do I put you on the spot?
I'm sorry. I forgot. I got so excited about it.
Varsity Blues.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God. Okay. Because I'm so excited about that. And then I'm also excited about the movie we're going to watch week after next. Because we already have that one.
We do?
Oh,
See,
yeah,
I forget
we do.
That one.
Because I didn't tell you directly. I'm beaming it to you with my eyes right now. And we're going to talk about the trailer to it on next
on Saturday matinee.
Satmat.
Mm-hmm. Satmat. Here we come.
So yes, Operation Varsity Blues. I am so excited. It's
the story of the college admissions scandal documentary.
Oh God. We are hitting a stride. I mean, this is good content. I'm very excited.
Me as well. And if anybody wants to reach out to us, they can find me at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens.
And if you want to reach out to me, I'm on Twitter at MandyFab1 and on Instagram at MandyFab. No one. You should just know that. Not no one like I'm a no one. You know what I mean. Just at MandyFab, period. There's
that
no
got
period.
away from you. It got away from you.
You know what? It feels like it should be easy, but it never is.
And fade out. Yeah.
We need to talk about Meghan Markle because there was somebody that reached out and asked us to tell our opinion on Meghan Markle, and we did not discuss it. So next week we will do our due diligence. Thank you, listener. And we will discuss Meghan Markle for you.
Wow.
Because what could there possibly be to say about a movie about a college admissions scandal?
You just pander to the people, don't you?
Anything you want. I'm right here. 323-456. Kidding.
All right. Until next week, I love ya.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Can Daddy help you? Yeah. Okay. Oh my God.
We had a real mom moment there.
I know.
Did she hear
So
my
embarrassing.
fantastic rendition of my favorite things?
No, she didn't.
Oh, thank God for headphones.
Oh my God. Well, I have to teach her about blowjobs eventually. I mean, I want her to be popular.
I'm sure there's a kid's version of Hollywood Wives.
She's read my journal.